Hey guys, I just wanted to check back in because I have made this video now 3 times. The first time when I was installing everything, the second time when I just recently recorded it and unfortunately had the TV on, so I didn't want to subject you guys to the background noise. But I did just want to report back on the free flow parts for the MXR, and then kind of just my experience and what I plan on doing. So just wanted to go over the soft shot kit. The spring itself is longer but is significantly softer, so I imagine that you lose some efficiency here. It's much softer. I didn't do any sort of efficiency tests, but that will definitely soften up your shot. Additionally, the free flow bolt guide is, as far as I can tell, the only discernible difference is the fact that these holes are a tiny bit bigger. The metal here on the lip is slightly slimmer. I imagine that is because when you match these two rings up, it makes the same exact size. And then obviously the fact that it comes with this proprietary O-ring that you can rotate around in this ring channel. It's very difficult to do, my apologies. Okay, so I have it rotated. Then as you can see, what it ends up doing is it puts a flap into this air channel and it blocks the airflow. So this is, I assume, like your kind of pseudo SFR, in that it blocks airflow here and it makes the bolt slower. In practice, in the case and a half that I shot, I just truthfully wasn't a fan. I really do like the very clicky responsiveness of the MXR, which is why I got it. I do have an R5, so that is kind of the, super soft shooting gun that if I need that as far as a shot goes, that is what I have. I have the R5 for a super soft shot. This, unfortunately, I really wanted this. I really wanted to like this. I really wanted it to be awesome. And unfortunately, it just didn't make me like the gun that much. It made the gun kick like a mule. And I don't know if that's because of the airflow restriction or the way that this is a softer spring. I don't know if it has to do with something that's back here with this valve portion of the bolt system, or if it has to do with the fact that it's regurgitating so much air backwards into the gun when you have it restricted and closed off with the ring. The ring, that proprietary O-ring, it's like a 3D printed O-ring, so it's not something that you could just purchase. I was thinking about removing it and running the bolt guide itself without that ring, but I have a feeling that will just break. I don't think that it has any sort of elasticity to it, so I'm assuming that will just break and or snap as soon as I go to remove it, so I'm just leaving it there for now and then swapping back over. Because again, the only difference is those holes in the very back are a little bit bigger. I'm not sure what sort of a difference that would have. As far as when I was testing the consistency over the chrono, it was, I would say, plus or minus 15. The paint I was using was not bad, and I had as tightly bored on an 8.0 as I possibly could have. So, I mean, you know, all things accounting for outliers in paintballs, and the paint not being perfectly round, because I think it was custom, so I'm assuming 2 or 3 star, some odd field paint, plus or minus 15, which is definitely higher than what I had experienced stock and originally. So I did already remove the bolt guide and the spring. If you are looking to install these, you need a 9mm metric wrench, and you need a 1/4 standard wrench. Now, the reason that you need that is to separate the bolt from the valve, or the valve stem from the rest of the valve body. That portion that's in the back that sits here, and then the bronze, orange, gold rod, you have to have a 9 1/4 so that you can separate them, and then you can remove the bolt guide and swap them off. That's the only way to get the bolt guide off. I did make this video twice already. Once when I was installing it, a second time when I was removing it. I didn't think either video was really great, to be honest. So what I did want to do is just kind of review my experience with it and let you know why I'm not running it. And again, the reason why I'm not running it is because my experience with it was not great. I didn't find it to be any more consistent, and the gun itself kicked like an absolute tank. So because of that, I went back to stock as far as the bolt guide itself. I still have the U-Cup O-ring. I still have Connor's O-ring kit. It's just the bolt guide itself and not having that proprietary O-ring. And then additionally, or lastly, having the stock silver spring in. I like the gun way better before I just put all this in. So I'm immediately bringing it back to the way that I had it before I installed Connor's O-ring kit, which I do not believe is the reason for any of my issues. Again, my friend shot it, thought the same thing, thought it kicked like an absolute donkey. I did, however, not break a single ball. And I really wanted to test it out. So I shot ProShar. ProShar, I think it was 4. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 star. I think it was 4, but it was ProShar, which was phenomenal paint. Super round, super brittle, and I didn't experience a single break. It shot it great, even with shooting this. I had this kit in it, and it was, you know, shot fantastic. Do I think that this was the reason that it was able to shoot ProShar? No. No, I do not. I do want to test the spring in the stock setup and see what the spring is like itself. But I really like the way that it already shoots. So it's hard for me to recommend changing it because of how it shoots. It's very low recoil. It's very responsive, and snappy, but also at the same point in time, very soft. And I don't know how it happens. I don't exactly understand it. I'm not an engineer, I'm not a designer, I'm not a creator. I just am a player, and I take things apart and I put them back together. So again, take everything for a small grain of salt. The other thing that I picked up that's currently in here, and I still do have the free flow bolt itself on the way, was the free flow trigger plate. The free flow trigger plate comes with an additional point of adjustment, which sits back here, and that is the micro switch activator. So there is a screw head with an Allen key that sits at the very back of the activation point, which is in turn the actual activation point of the trigger and the micro switch. So you can spin it out so that it triggers a lot sooner. You can spin it in so that it triggers a lot later. It will have all the same points of adjustment, plus additionally that one. And it comes with a special Allen key that is super, super, super long. I have it kind of wedged in here. And that is so that you can take this, pop the grips off, put this up into here, and then you can make the point of adjustment there without removing the grips. And then without taking the body apart and without basically everything. So you can make that micro switch adjustment with this, just have to remove the grips. And you just go up into the body, and it's right at the back of the trigger. And you can adjust it from there. Again, does come with this. The trigger plate itself was, again, $29.99. This Allen key is soft, so it is already flexing. The soft shot kit was $40. I really don't think I'm going to be running it, but I did want to test it. I'm definitely going to keep the trigger plate in because I like the additional point of adjustment. I didn't even make any adjustments other than just putting it in, and the trigger already feels significantly better. And I think it's because of that screw that activates the micro switch. So for whatever that is worth, I'm gonna run it. What I will do is I will test the free flow bolt when it comes in with the way that the gun sits now. I plan on going out tomorrow and putting a full case through it again, playing a whole day and seeing how the gun performs. This is following Connor's O-ring kit. The gun shot fine today. Again, I had no breaks other than the fact that I just didn't necessarily like the way that it was shooting. And this was solely because I installed this. And then it got worse when I put the restrictor all the way to the max. So I don't know if it was just the bolt guide. I don't know if it was because of just the spring and the bolt guide. I don't know if it was just the spring. That's kind of the problem with the way that I went about things, is I had installed too many things at one time and I wasn't able to individually test the way that things felt as I changed and upgraded them. So preferably, I probably would have tested out the spring and then the bolt guide, and or vice versa. At this point in time, I will be looking to just test out the spring to see exactly what that's like in the internals as it sits stock now. I do have Connor's optional O-ring for quote unquote efficiency. What it does is it takes away space from the spring. So the already stiff spring that I have in there is significantly stiffer than this. That does get additionally compressed by the O-ring, but it doesn't have the same amount of effect that it has on the spring that's in here as it sits now. So I think what I'm going to continue doing is just run it for tomorrow with the method bolt. I have been enjoying the method bolt. It shoots great. It sounds good. And it chronos well. It's consistent. It's as consistent or slightly more consistent than the stock one. So I do just want to test once I receive the free flow bolt, the stock bolt versus the free flow bolt versus the method bolt. I have my suspicions in which way, you know, I just generally think that the method bolt is going to be better and more consistent, but I'll have to see as soon as, like I said, I can get them over a chrono. I did just want to put this video out. Again, I'm sorry that it wasn't me installing the parts and or removing them, but I did make the video twice and they just weren't great, so I didn't want to stick them up there. This is also a little bit more condensed and more concise as far as my thoughts and exactly what's going on with the gun and what I felt. My friend did shoot the gun as well, and it was his first time shooting it, unfortunately, while I had this installed. And he was like, yeah, man, I don't want to make you feel bad about the gun, but I just like really didn't like the way that it was shooting. And I had the adjustable flow bolt and soft spring, and I had it pretty closed off. I think it was probably about halfway. Again, because I was just testing, fully open, halfway, and fully closed, just to see kind of what the outcome was. And I really do think that the gun itself and the way that it sits right now is fantastic. The method bolt adds like a slightly different sound signature to it, but I don't think that it changes the way that it functions or operates. So I would consider the method bolt relatively stock, although the way that the air flow and the porting on the bolt itself is a little bit different. Plus, the method bolt is a Type 3 hard coat ano, so it should have a significantly more durable, longer lasting lifespan. Trying to think. I think I'm gonna probably pop up another video tomorrow and do like a maintenance video and then discuss my additional thoughts and findings beyond this. But I did want to throw this up. If you guys have any questions specifically about these parts or installing them, or if you'd like to see the actual tutorial, I'm more than happy to do so. Please just let me know. All right, take care. I'll see you next time.